let's jump straight in. What does intelligent automation mean, and what challenges can it solve?
Good and important question. So we all hear a lot about artificial intelligence. It became a buzzword, I would say, over the last few years, and we use it for science fiction as well as companies, and people don't understand then how to pragmatically, in reality, using it and getting the efficiency gains that we are all looking for. That's the reason why we haven't called it artificial intelligence, but intelligent automation. Intelligent automation really refers to the use of different types of technologies to automate some of the work that is currently being done by people. Okay, so the official definition is it's a combination of methods that includes people, organization, data, processes, and technologies that includes robotic process automation, machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision, and much more. Combining those technologies and concepts together, we are able to automate end-to-end processes that are currently being done by people. For example, purchase to pay is an end-to-end process that each and every company around the world has to perform to basically identify vendors, procure goods or services, then identify if we've received those services and goods in the right quantity, quality, in time, and if we can then pay them, those vendors.
Okay, so that's an example of a process that can be intelligently automated. Is that right?
That's an example of a process that is currently being done by people, and that can be automated. All the processes can be automated. I haven't seen a process that can't be automated. Not yet.
Okay, well, let's jump on that. Okay, because this is really important part of it, right? Because in your book, you talk about you're automating the work of the knowledge worker, which in the past would be very, very difficult to do, right? Because it's the thinking behind it. It's all the parts. Like it's become easier to automate the manufacturing industry, and there's examples of how Amazon have the warehouses that are completely dark, that everything is just completely automated. But what we're really talking about is to kind of automate the process of the knowledge worker, right? And so you just said that you haven't seen a process that cannot be automated yet, right? And so what does that mean though? Does that mean that because everything in a business is usually process, right? Like a lot of companies have processes. The processes are between people. There are decisions that are being made. There are things that are happening. How does this solve all the processes, right? Because it seems like, get that, the invoicing core, right? There's steps in that. It's just about numbers really and checking things, but how does it do everything else?
Yes. So let's very good question. Let's get back to our example of purchase to pay.
Please.
That's universal. Every company does it. We said that the process starts with, that you need to buy a good or a service to a vendor. Okay, so and this starting point is usually being done leveraging machine learning to forecast what will be your needs. Okay, and especially in big, you can think of manufacturing company when they need raw materials, for example. That's a critical process to get their manufacture and production activities going. Yes. So forecasting activity starts the number one process of this purchase to pay end-to-end process is done leveraging machine learning to predict what will be the needs of buying of which product do we need to buy to which vendor, for which quantity, and for when. Okay, that's the first step.
So the first step is not even simple. The first step is to leverage machine learning to figure out what we need. So the decision is being made. It's not just the process, it's the decisions in the process that we're talking about as well.
Exactly. So the way I define a process is a sequence of tasks, and those tasks can be cognitive tasks, like taking a decision, digesting information to to predict or to take a decision, or can be manual tasks, or can be tasks that are related to what we see, or to what we hear, to what we say. Okay.
Yes.
And so let's go step by step. Let's go step by step.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go step by step. And I'm going to ask you to break it down really simply for me. I'm going to ask you lots of questions. So please, step one, machine learning to figure out the decisions.
Exactly. And to figure out the decision of buying. So which product, to who, when, how much. You take this decision, and this means that you need to generate a purchase order. Okay. And very often, you will use kind of a workflow platform that will help you to connect with the vendors and help them to go through this process that goes from step one, you get the purchase order. Step two, you get all the answers from the different vendors. And step three, you will have a first review process with a selection of top 3 vendors, for example, and finally get to the selected vendor. Okay, so through this workflow platform that belongs to, so in the book, we talk about 4 capabilities that are basically 4 groups of technologies that helps to mimic what knowledge workers are doing in their work. Okay. The first one was using machine learning. It was the thinking and learning. So that's the first capability. Now we're talking about workflow platform that helps to route the data, collect approvals, store the data, and help and support a workflow of decisions between people. Okay. So that's the execution capability. Okay. Then let's say we select a vendor, and then we receive the goods, and now we need to pay them. So we receive their invoice.
Yes.
Okay, and we receive their invoice. Unfortunately, not all companies have exchange of data, as you know.
Yes.
So you might probably receive a paper invoice, but even you might receive it by email, okay, a PDF of the invoice. In this case, you will need, first of all, computer vision to help you read this invoice automatically. Okay. That's the third capability, which is about vision, basically. Okay? Yes. That's what we do with our eyes usually. And now machine is doing it automatically thanks to computer vision. And then you need to probably read the email and probably interact with the vendors if there is an issue on the invoice, for example. And here is coming language capability, which is currently being done by virtual assistants that are leveraging natural language processing. Okay, and finally you'll get, whenever you're happy with the amount on the invoice, you got your goods in the right quantity, quality, you want now to perform the transaction to pay those vendors. And this is a very transactional activity that can be simply automated using robotic process automation, for example. Okay, and this is coming back to the execution capability.
Got it. And so these 4 areas, so the thinking, the execution, the vision, and the language. So those 4 areas are the things which are required for every automation, for every intelligent automation.
No, that's not
for everyone. Okay, sorry. You please correct me. Like I said, I'm going to ask lots of questions to see if I'm understanding it. Yeah.
So those are the capabilities you can use to automate a business process. Okay, but sometimes 1, 2, or 3 of them are sufficient.
Okay. So it's going to be a maximum of 4, but it could be 3, it could be 2, it could be 1. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, this is really good, right? Okay, so sorry, please.
Yeah, very importantly, why those 4 capabilities? Those are the capabilities that we as knowledge worker are using to perform those processes. Either we read a document, either we talk with someone, either we press a button to send an email, or we think and learn using data and providing some insights, some predictions.
Got it. Okay, that's a very important point, is that it's an example of how someone actually operates, right? This is the work that's happening. It's thinking, it's looking, it's doing, and it's speaking or writing, like that's the parts, right?
Yes. If you want, we are kind of creating a digital twin of a knowledge worker. That's another way of explaining it. Okay. We are creating a digital worker that is working hands in hands with the human worker.